After 20 years, it's finally Prime time. So after so many rumors and insiders saying that it's happening, Nintendo have finally released the Metroid Prime 1 Remaster during their Nintendo Direct the other day, and now my life's complete. Well, kind of. It would have been complete if it was the trilogy, but anyway, this remaster looks absolutely phenomenal. But here's a quick word from our sponsor.
You may recognize us.
Yes, from the video you're watching right now.
Exactly.
So, yes, we sponsor ourselves.
Yep.
But come on over to the podcast channel and see why we sponsor ourselves. We think we're worth it.
Oh, yeah.
And you should too.
Definitely.
So, all things gaming in a podcast format. That's the podcast channel.
So from what we've seen so far, this is a ground up remake rather than just a lazy remaster with remastered visuals, audio, controls, and more. But first, here's a quick recap for those that are new to Metroid. So you play as Samus Aran, a female bounty hunter with Chozo DNA, wearing a power suit that has an arm cannon, and yeah, you can turn into a ball. She receives a distress signal from a ship orbiting Talon 4, and this is actually a space pirate research ship where you'll fight Samus's nemesis, Ridley, whilst eradicating the Metroids. So you may have seen the release of Metroid 5 Dread, and that is actually the 5th installment of the 2D games as opposed to the Prime games, which are the 3D ones. So the 2D Metroid games came first, starting with 1, then Return of Samus, then Super Metroid, then Fusion, and then finally Dread. So Metroid Prime here is the first 3D first-person shooter puzzle game in the series, and it blew our minds back on the GameCube in 2003. Now, I'm just gonna say this is the best looking Switch game there is yet. This is hands down the best looking Switch game, I'm just saying that. And on the Switch OLED, it is gonna be phenomenal when playing handheld. I've seen people completely in awe since this has been revealed and wondering why other games don't look as good. Well, firstly, this is Retro Studios and they're absolute wizards. But secondly, this is an old game that has closed areas. So this isn't like a new open world game that we see all the time nowadays, and they often look a bit meh. This is more like room by room. So each instance can look incredible because it's only rendering and loading whatever area you're currently in at that moment. So it's always closed off by doors. Now, you may have seen Sonic Frontiers, so I'm going to use this as a quick example. Sonic Frontiers, the open world areas look pretty mushy and a little bit low resolution on Switch, and that's because it's rendering the whole freaking place. You know, it's a big open zone that it's rendering. However, in Sonic Frontiers, when you go to the challenge areas, they are way smaller and they look amazing. The resolution is higher, it's crisper, there's more stuff on display, everything just looks graphically so much nicer. And that's again because that's an instance that it's loading as opposed to a huge area. So on top of the graphics looking amazing, we've got multiple difficulty options. So the original, as far as I'm aware, only had normal mode until you beat the game and then you unlocked hard mode. But now they've introduced a casual mode that reduces damage to help focus on exploring for those that just, want to look around, I guess. But this is still a Metroid game, okay? So you're not just going to be able to plain sail forward, you're going to be constantly retracing your steps because you need to wait until you've upgraded your armor and got a new ability to then be able to go back there and then progress. So you're going to hit a lot of locked doors and stuff. This game is a lot of exploring and you're basically like a scientist, you're doing a lot of, I don't know what this is, but this is looking through the visor, right? And scanning stuff. So it's not just go crazy and shoot stuff. There is a lot of puzzles and backwards and forwards retracing of steps, but it's so fun. And according to the website, we've got bonus content with unlockable art from the development of both the original and the remaster, a soundtrack gallery and 3D character gallery too. So Metroid's always been about unlocking stuff. So in the original, for example, you got different outfits depending on how quickly you beat the game. Now this is probably the biggest thing is controls, right? So now we actually have twin stick aiming, and you can free aim now. So it's like made it more like a modern shooter, you know, because first person shooters now, when you say to someone, you think of Call of Duty or whatever, and you can just aim wherever you want. Well, Metroid originally wasn't like that. The C stick didn't let you aim. So this game was more like auto lock, right? So it kind of was like auto targeting, because that's just how it was back then, right? But now you actually have the ability to control where you're aiming at all times, free aim, yeah? But not just that, you've got other control options as well. So you can have the free aim, or you can have more of a traditional experience where it's more of a locked on aim, or you can have gyro motion controls, which makes it more like the Wii trilogy. You can actually play it with gyro controls and aim that way if you so wish, or you can do a hybrid sort of control system. So they really let you customize the controls in this game, and that makes me so happy, because you could do different playthroughs. You could play it through with twin stick shooting, you know, and then be like, yeah, that was great. Now let's try and play it like the original, where it's more auto aim. And then you could play it again afterwards with complete gyro controls, or you could just switch it up and play however you want to play. Just do what you want, I don't care. The digital version is available on the eShop right now. Why did they do this to me? Whereas physical collectors, like my stupid self, have to wait at least until February the 22nd if you're in America, or if you're like me, and you're in the UK, well, we've been done over even worse, because we have to wait until the 3rd of March. So 3323. So I'm currently pulling my hair out, because I could be playing it right now if I just bought the eShop version, but I want the physical version. But the game comes in at $40 or £35. Now I've actually pre-ordered the physical version for 30 quid from Shop2 here in the UK. So yeah, the pricing, I mean, some people are gonna be a bit like, meh, because you can buy the trilogy on Wii U for like, what is it, less than £20, and I've already got that. But it's not the remaster, and it's not on Switch where I can play it wherever I want, right? So 30 quid, £35, $40, whatever, I think that's actually acceptable. This is like a ground up remake, you know? So it just looks amazing. I am more than happy paying that price. I mean, if it was full price, you know, like 50, 60 pounds, like $60, whatever, then I'd be like, oh, and I would probably still buy it. But then I'd, you know, contemplate waiting for a sale. But I actually think the pricing's fine for me, at least. I can justify it. But basically, everyone needs to go and buy this. Just do it. If you've got a Switch, go and buy this. Am I biased? Hell yeah! But buy it anyway. And as you can see, I'm really excited. And I'm also super annoyed that I have to wait until next month. But if you're playing it right now, please let me know your experience down in the comments. I want to know how much you love this. What do you love? What do you hate? Is this your first experience of Metroid? Are you a veteran? Do you love it? Like, just tell me everything about Metroid, good or bad. I just want to know, because, you know, I love Metroid. So there we go, that's it. And whilst you're here, go and check out our podcast where me and AJ talk about all things gaming in a long form kind of, you know, it's a podcast. You know what a podcast is, right? So go and check that out. Check out another video from me here on this channel, and make sure to subscribe to both channels, because you love me. I don't know. What has this video been? I'm getting cramp. Bye.